There are many reasons why the Xenoblade Chronicles games are beloved by so many. One of those reasons is the locations and the experiences that the players have when journeying over these vast and diverse landscapes, as we've already covered on the channel. Another is the compelling stories that tug at our heartstrings. But today, I want to take a look at the lovable characters that we experience these incredible journeys with. I'm going to be listing my top 8 favourite characters across all of the Xenoblade games. This list doesn't specifically just include the party members of each game, neither does it exclude them either. And so we'll be looking at every single character from the series, regardless of how big or small their roles are. The only exceptions to these lists are going to be the rare blades, as I've already made a list on my favourites and least favourites, so you can check out that video after this one. And of course, spoiler warning for Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, as of course there will be spoilers from both of those games. And with all that out of the way, let's jump right into the video. So to start off this list, I want to talk about the bro of destruction himself, Malos. Now I know that most people prefer Jin as the villain of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I'm the reverse, and this is why. The first time I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, before I actually knew anything about the game, I was under the impression and thought that Nia, Jin and Malos were going to be some of the main party members for the game, and I was so excited to playing through a game with Malos. He just seemed like such a bro and a guy that would look all mean on the outside, but be a huge softie on the inside. He actually reminded me of Bon from the 7 Deadly Sins, who's my favourite character from that series. And I'm sure you can all therefore imagine my disappointment when Malos is the main enemy of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That said, he's definitely not a bad villain. I really like his story and the fact that the only reason he's actually all evil and trying to destroy all of Allrest is because of Amalthus's hatred, who is a completely separate ballpark altogether. If he had have been Rex's ally and played through the game like I initially thought he would have, then he would have definitely have been much higher on the list. But instead, he was a bro to Akos, Jin and the other members of Torna, so he still maintains 8th place.
I'm a wretched being too. A hideous monster, far beyond saving! So, let's end this now.
Next up on the list though, we've got a contender for best girl of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's Nia. I'm just going to come out and say it, Nia is a better Melia. And before all of the Melia fans click off this video, just quickly hear me out. Melia is definitely a very good and interesting character, and someone who very nearly placed on the list, especially with a future connected arc. But Nia and Melia are very similar characters, and there are some aspects of the character that I think Nia just does much better than Melia. Nia's progression to me is a lot more interesting, and that may be thanks to the fact that you get her at the beginning of the game, but her overall character development fluctuates a lot, meaning that we get to see a lot of different sides to Nia, and she in my books just becomes a more interesting overall character. I also think she pulls off the love rival role a lot better than Melia, as I think Melia's just passive attitude to actually trying to get with Shulk just makes her a bit boring and also just shows that she's not expressing her true feelings. And finally, she has a much better voice actor. That's not to say that Jenna Coleman's bad, that's just to say that the Welsh accent is incredible in a Xenoblade game. And so, if you're a Melia fan, make sure to leave a comment down below saying, poor Melia, as she's lost the 7th place on my list to Nia.
I am burdened no longer, not by my past, not by Jin. I am finally free.
And now it's time to talk about the best Nopon, the true Heropon of the entire series. Ricky. Ricky, in my opinion, does everything right as a Nopon character. He's cute, cuddly and adorable, actually has a large impact on the main story, and has some very hilarious dialogue and cutscenes throughout the entire game. And that is saying something, because most of the main Nopon characters don't tend to tick all of those boxes. Tatsu is a joke, Kino and Nene were both just disappointments, and Tora is pretty good, but I just think Ricky's better. He's the literal glue which keeps the whole party together and provides so much emotional support for all of the party members through this very dark time. that his presence really comes in clutch. He's also cunningly wise and definitely cares a whole lot about all of his home friends. Even the big meathead Rain. I will absolutely keep singing Ricky's praises, but one thing I won't help him with is paying off that damn debt of his.
Ricky have big family of Little Pon. Ricky raise and say goodbye to many Little Pon. Ricky knows some things.
You can say that again. I had you all wrong.
And now we're heading into the top 5 on this list. And at the top of here might be a surprising pick for you all, because I really like Mumcar. Mumcar, also known as Metal Face, is what I look as the perfect villain for any type of media, and he fits super well with the style and story of Xenoblade Chronicles 1. The man is practically insane, feeling nothing as he kills countless of his comrades and other residents of Colony 9, and all for the selfish reason that he wants more power. There's no deeper meaning to his violence, such as Egil brainwashed him into doing all of those evil things for his own benefit. Mumcar is just that crazy that he would do it anyway. Hence the reason I believe that Metalface keeps all of his memories, whilst Zord has them all erased. I'm also very glad that Monolith didn't cave in to the trope that's used a lot in the media now, where he takes a sudden turn of heart and becomes a good guy of the people and tries to repent after he's defeated by the party. It is what led to his demise, but the man stays true to his goals of trying to take the Monado's power for his own. He is, in my mind, the perfect villain drunk on his own power.
I can't tell you how badly I wanted this sword. Has this puny boy even figured out how it works yet? What are you willing to do? Would you even kill a Holmes to beat us?
And for my fourth favourite character, we have Vandam.
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
Right. I mean Xenoblade Chronicles X Vandam. I'm sure many of you thought there'd be no Xenoblade Chronicles X characters on this list, especially with me only giving a spoiler warning for the other two games. But fortunately for you, Vandam doesn't have any spoilers tied to him that I'm going to talk about in this video. Where to start though? Vandam's just a hilarious and awesome character in general. He's this absolute unit of a man who tends to now just do a lot of sitting down and working behind all of the scenes, but is still very, very important to making sure that New LA runs peacefully. Once again though, he's just such a good pal to all of the party members, which is amazing to think that he's not even one of the playable party members. Even so, he's still as fleshed out in terms of his personality as all of those other main characters, even having funny sides like this, where he's supposed to be all tough and mean looking. I do also like how he's a very laid back character, which I think is a breath of fresh air when the scenario of Xenoblade Chronicles X is so severe, of extinction of humanity. Regardless though, he's my favourite character for Xenoblade Chronicles X, and will probably stay that way even after completing all of the other party members' heart-to-hearts and side quests anyway.
Shut your hole! I saw the whole thing, including where you picked a fight that was about to get your teeth kicked in. Now get your skinny little asses back to the barracks. Your tongues have an appointment with some toilet seats.
And now it's time for the top 3, and it's safe to say for the most part that I think a few of these choices might be a little bit obvious, especially with this choice of Rex. Rex is a child, and this means that most cutscenes and story parts from the game have a completely different meaning when considering his age. That said, he is already very mature for his age, likely due to the fact that he has no real family, excluding of course all the villagers from Funset Village. That said though, it's a real joy to see the moments where his childish side comes out, as I think it's this really nice dynamic of this young boy who is trying his best to quite literally make a difference and save the world, but he's having to encounter and struggle through all of the challenges that comes through with that, which is difficult even for an adult. The connection that's also forged with Pyra and Mithra is also part of what I think makes him so appealing, and it has to be noted that those two themselves deserve to share this place with Rex, as together they are truly an amazing combination, and I don't think that Monolith Soft could have given Rex a better partner as a blade than her.
will find your place in this world, find out where we're headed, and see what our future holds. So believe me, I won't let the world burn a second time. So, Pyra, Mitra, join me!
And now it's time for the runner-up. Earlier we had the Heropon, but now we have the hero of the Homs, Dunban. When I look up the word epic in the dictionary, I see Dunban. He is the true definition of the word. I can't think of another character in the Xenoblade series that I get so hyped for when they're featuring in the cutscenes. He has a super important role with the story, and he's always relevant, being able to provide excellent advice to the party with his wisdom. But I also like that he has the dark side to him. Dunban didn't even think twice about killing the man that he called a friend for many years, being Mumkar, when he had the opportunity on Swords Valley. And this dark side, in my eyes, makes him even more relatable and just shows how human he really is. Add the stoic nature and it's an amazing combination for an incredible man.
No matter how hard you try to break us, the future is ours to shape, Dixon. Always!
And now my favourite character in all of Xenoblade. It's Mikol, the machina that you meet in The Fallen Arm. He's awesome. He drives a big wheelchair around. And look at his big cuddly belly and his big funny side. And you're not taking me seriously, are you? Well, good, because the real final pick is Zeke from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. There's a lot to unpack here with his whole character. Firstly, he's hilarious, and the way he's introduced is also one of the funniest parts of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And it's then also a really nice twist when Zeke turns out to be actually a pretty good guy and joins the party. But this is where we then get to see the really cool sides to him. Zeke becomes the bro that Malos could never be, and basically takes Rex under his wing and kind of becomes his mentor. And the dynamic between the two is just incredible. He's constantly looking out for Rex, keeping an eye on his back and trying to look for ways to help him improve, as he truly wishes to help and support Rex control the Aegis, as he feels it's his duty being a prince from Tantal. This also leads into the disappointment with Morag. I feel like she should have been a lot more of a mentor to Rex than Zeke is, as she's actually a reliable person, but she's too occupied the entire time trying to see what Rex will do next and see if it's something interesting. Zeke, on the other hand, fully embraces this, almost like being a dad to Rex, being very carefree around him but also serious when he needs to be. And this blend of pure comedy gold and sensei mentorship makes him even more amazing in my eyes of shining justice.
Behold the mighty Zeke von Gembu, bringer of chaos! Mostly known as Zeke, and often addressed as the Zekenator!
And those are my current 8 favourite characters from all of the Xenoblade games. I hope you've enjoyed, and I also hope that I've cleared up that even if Pyra might hate Zeke at the moment, I absolutely don't. I also want to mention though that if your favourite character wasn't on this list, then that doesn't mean that I dislike the character. It's very easy for me to right now sum up the characters that I dislike in Xenoblade games, because there aren't many. That said, if you have enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, then I'd massively appreciate it if you'd smack that red subscription button right now, and that way you'll never miss out on any of my amazing Xenoblade content, and I can assure you that you won't be disappointed. But until next time guys, peace.